So hello everyone, thanks for joining us today. And today we have awesome webinar and thanks to the British Council Uzbekistan staff members, Saida Irkasheva and Umida Nurjanova, who kindly agreed to make a special webinar for us. So they will be talking about the resources that the British Council is offering during these pandemics for the teachers and learners of the English language. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to the speakers, Umida Nurjanova and Saida Irkasheva.
Yes, and our presentation will consist of two parts. Saida will do the first part, and I will do the second part, if you don't mind. So Saida, over to you.
Thank you, Umida. So I'm going to share with the news, which probably you already know, because we share this news through our Telegram groups and in our Facebook also. British Council decided to bring more use for use at this period of time while you are staying at home, and to help you with your own professional and personal development, but also to help you to assist your learners in their English learning and in general in their personal learning as well. And today we are going to share some of these very useful sources, materials, platforms with you, which British Council put together. And I'm going to speak based on maybe on what you do during your stay at home, and based on what you are required to do today from your workplace, from your maybe duties, from your work duties. So I'm going to. I'm not sure whether you see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'm going to share the best British Council resources and platforms, which were selected or put together exactly for this period of time. And it was very huge work when they decided to make most use of our resources. You will, if you simply go to our website, britishcouncil.uz, you will go to our page, and it is just on the top of our page, our best campaign, that is Stay Home with British Council. You can actually, I know that today among teachers, I saw some teachers who are not maybe English teachers. I saw some teachers who are content teachers. And if you find, at the beginning, if you find digesting maybe or reading this information more difficult, then you can choose any language on the top. So for example, you can choose Uzbek, and all information which we have on our site will be presented in Uzbek. But for our purpose today, for our presentation, I will choose English. So if you just click on find out more, you will directly go to the page which I spoke earlier, which combines very interesting maybe resources, online resources, and also in very interactive maybe platforms. I'm not going to speak about all of them because we don't have enough time. The first one maybe would be very good for you and for your family, even if they are housewives, they can still stay with our first link and learn English together with their kids. But I'm going to speak about the link which is Improve Your English. You simply click on it, and there may be different purposes for you to go to this link. The first one is for your own personal development, for your own language learning. And the second one is for your teaching purposes. At the moment, I know that all teachers are required to do a lot of online teaching. And I really sorry about those teachers who have to copy handouts every day to send the scanned handout to their maybe students via Telegram group, or they ask their students just to copy their course books, the tasks which they did in the course book on the course book page. They take photo of it and they send back to their teachers. Maybe all this really creates a lot of maybe extra work for teachers, and I don't think this is good examples of online learning. That's why I would just simply advise you to go one by one from these resources, of course, by being selective and by choosing the right content and by a right level of your and also age group of your learners. You can simply every week just ask your learners to go through this maybe content which we have here. What they can do, the first, their journey, learning journey may start from testing themselves. They may go to the first link and try English test, which will help them to identify their English level. It will say, the answers will come according to the CFR levels, A1, A2, up to C1 and C2. And after they do this test, your learners or you can guide them, and you can just simply ask them to go to the next link and to do tasks, different tasks, or you may just every week to plan your lesson. Your lesson can be planned according to skills. I mean, it can be skill-based lessons. For example, today we will have listening, tomorrow or the day after tomorrow we will do reading, one reading, and so on. Or you may combine skills. If you do especially tutoring, maybe IELTS tutoring, or if you do maybe just general English, especially those who work in ESP universities or those who work at schools, they can combine actually several skills. And if we, for example, if we go to writing, maybe if we click on writing skill, there you will find actually different levels, starting from A1, A2, and so on. And you already probably, you know your learners actually level, but also your learners already took our free online test. And they, according to their level, they may start their learning journey. For example, if we go to A2 level, because I know that among Facebook participants today, we have several teachers of English who especially have the most challenging and difficult time, probably because they have very different age groups and very different level of students. You can just maybe choose, for example, A2 level, and one by one to start maybe your teaching. What is very good about these resources, what I would like to especially to highlight, is that in writing, for example, it doesn't teach simply academic writing, which is essay, because we understand that in real life our students would not write too many essays. In real life, they will probably have to write in English their emails, their letters, their CV probably, or they will simply have to maybe update their personal profile, like we do now in our Facebook, in different channels. And what I mean is that the writing skills or reading skills, listening skills, as well as speaking skills, are built around the most important, maybe, authentic tasks or authentic, maybe, activities which our learners have to do in English in their life. And if we simply speak about personal profile, how to develop, how to maybe create or put your personal profile, so it has even if it's writing, it has already a combination of several skills. They will have good tasks for preparation, that is introduction of the key languages. Then they will do some reading, read one sample profile of one imaginative maybe person. The lesson itself gives proper tips how people should create their profiles, for example, what they should follow, what they shouldn't do in creation of their profiles. Then at least 3 tasks on language as well as on structure. For example, a personal profile, so how it should be created. And I know that at schools, and probably the same in universities, and teachers are asked to gather their students' homework, their students' tasks. So students simply do the task, they take photo and send back to their teachers via Telegram. This platform actually allows students to do the tasks online, and they will check themselves by just clicking on finish and give me my score, and tasks give the scores for students. But unfortunately, it doesn't help teachers to receive all these answers. So the teachers may not know what maybe score their student received. But probably this is not the main reason actually in teaching language. The most important thing for us is to help our students to learn something new, to do in English. So to be able to write an email in English, or to be able to maybe to write their CV in English, to write an essay in English. And one good way can be always at the end of each this kind of tasks, there is a topic for discussion. You may ask your students to write their views on these discussion topics, or if your learners still are not very maybe high level, and if they're not very maybe good users of English, you may simply ask them to create their own profile, to write it and to send it to you. Or if they already have their own profile created in Facebook or in any other social media, you may ask them to improve it, and then to go there and to check how they did it. So I mean, as a teacher, you still can ask your learners to produce a written text and to send back to you. This can be one option. Another option, as I said, can be you will combine several skills. For example, today you are going to teach an email writing, and you combine reading lessons with writing lesson. In reading lesson, they will go through this email reading from a friend, because reading an email is also very important skills. And in writing sections, they will they will be happy to do email writing. And as a result of this combined integrated class, they may send you the first email to your maybe inbox, which will be probably more pleasant than just to receive scanned paper from your students via Telegram, probably. This is one option, and actually, and this is one of the maybe just a minute, sorry, one of the platforms which we have here, which can be very useful if you teach your students, if you have English classes or if you have tutoring, whatever, this can be very useful for you. But also, as I said, if you are, as it gives an opportunity to choose the right course according to different levels, you can choose higher level like C1 or B2 levels and improve your own English. Because we know that from the new academic year, the demand for language level of both English teachers and non-English teachers is becoming very high. And it would be a very good opportunity for you at this time when you stay at home, to also to think about your own English, to improve your own English. And this actually platform gives a lot of resources for, and also specific maybe skill-based tasks for learners of a higher level as well. I am going also to speak about the second very important platform if you decide to spend this time for your own professional development. And this platform is for teachers. The platform presents different options. The first one, which comes here, as you see, this is a webinar with the president of ITEFL, and this webinar will just come right after our webinar. The platform has more than 100 lesson plans for primary school learners, and about 220 lesson, probably, if I'm not mistaken, if they didn't update during last days, lesson plans for those who are teenagers. But when I went to this link, I found out that most of the topics can be very, very suitable rather for our lower university level students as well, especially if you teach ESP students, because there are topics there for about nature, about technology, and so on, and you may find these lesson plans, ready lesson plans, very useful. But today I'm going to speak about your own professional development opportunities, and this is 3 online professional courses, which you may find very interesting. One of these, at the moment, I decided to select 3 courses. I don't know whether you can see the list. And these 3 courses, one of them is language assessment. Another one is workplace English. It can be very useful for those of you who are at the moment, who are not English teachers, but content teachers, and you want to improve your own English for workplace purposes, then probably this course can be very interesting. All these courses are free, and but if you decide to get a certificate at the end, you have to pay only for the certificate. So among these courses, one which I especially liked is teaching English online, because at the moment I see that many teachers understand online teaching just if you do something using different electronic maybe modes, that is online teaching. And unfortunately, some teachers accept online teaching in this way. That's why I thought maybe this course can be very useful for you, especially if you pay attention on the topics. These topics cover not only maybe electronic or online tools which you can use in your teaching, but also it has very maybe rich content about how online teaching pedagogy should be maybe approached, how we should work differently when we work online, in what way our tasks which we assign for our students should be different from those tasks which we usually do in the classroom. And these topics can be very useful for you. They go week by week. What is good about this course, it is at the moment it is available, and you can start this course anytime. If you want to start one very specific course together as a group with other teachers from all around the world, you may like to do assessment course, because it starts from 27th of April, and that means many teachers from different parts of the world will start this course together with you. This can be very useful for you, for your professional development, and these courses do not require you to be connected at certain exact time. One more about this course, it's very easy to join these courses. You just simply click on it, and you can, I'm already joined, that's why they show me maybe further opportunities. You can join these courses by inserting your email address and choosing a password, but also another way to do it is if you are Facebook users, and today you joined us, probably most of you are Facebook users, you can just choose option join through Facebook, and it automatically will find you, and you don't have to do any registration, any other things. It is very easy to follow. The last one, which I want to speak about, just if you decide that it's too much for you that you are doing, maybe in your academic field, you are doing too much reading, too much maybe writing at the moment while you stay at home, and it's already becoming maybe over challenging for you. I would suggest you just simply go explore our art online platform. And one option can be together with your colleagues or together with your students. You can organize a tour each week. You can together, you just set up one time, and for example, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, you can all together visit one of the digital exhibitions, very popular digital exhibitions. Together with your students, you may decide to organize a tour to maybe any kind of museum, or maybe to listen to some famous musicians' concert, for example. You may ask your learners to come up to their computer together with their tea or coffee, and together all will have a kind of virtual, maybe such kind of visit. But to end my first part of our presentations, I want just to end it with something very interesting. Again, it is if you are very tired of all other maybe work and this non-stop coming information, maybe you will start creating something, some new talents in yourself. And one option which we have in this platform is, why not to make your own music, to create your own music. I'm not actually very good in this, and I have never been good in this. So I'm going to create my own music. I will record my music in order to share with you. Let me choose another instrument. One more instrument. And one more. And it will mix what I have chosen. Then I will I should take this off, and will help me, will let me just to listen to what I created. So something like this, and as I said, I'm not good in this very much, but some of you can really find yourself in this as well. So if we go to our stay home site, one more platform which you may find very useful, especially if you do tutoring, or if you are going to take an IELTS test because of the last requirements in the country. So that is a platform for those who are going to take IELTS test. And here probably you will have a lot of questions because of this maybe period of time. You may have a lot of questions about British Council IELTS test at the moment. That's why I will give I will ask Umida to speak about it. Umida, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Saida. But before we proceed to the second part of the presentation, colleagues might have some questions before they forget their questions. Shall we ask people for quick questions? Yes? If no questions, we can go on.
Yes.
Umida Haidarova raised hand. Yes, Umida? You can unmute yourself.
It was really productive. Actually, the last music by Saida. I would like to ask about the assessment course, which is going from 8 to 7. Is it free?
They are all free. Actually, all online courses which you will find in the platform which I showed you for teachers, online courses for teachers, you will, they are all free. And one more thing which I'm going to show you is that, just a minute. You go to that site, Futureland site, and I know, by the way, Umida is, if I'm not mistaken, is from University of Law.
Yes, yes.
And, yes, and we have also her team of EMI content teachers who teach different other subjects. You can actually find a lot of different subjects here if you click on these short courses, and they are all free. And you can find the courses, not only English courses. Here we have courses for different fields: animal feed production, antimicrobial, and blah, blah, blah. So you can choose your subject here and choose any of these courses. They're short courses, so you need to find short courses because this site also offers courses for those who want to do MA program. That's why you have to choose short courses. And if you just want to study this course, they are free. If you need a certificate at the end, then at the end, not at the beginning, you may require for the certificate, but in this case, you have to pay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, anyone else? I had a question in the chat room about placing these links, the links from the British Council website on your university website. Sure, we will be absolutely happy if you share these links with your colleagues, with your authorities, or with your students. I will provide the links a bit later, probably closer to the end of the presentation. Any other questions, or shall we continue? Because I'm aware about the time, and I'm sure you are looking forward to attending another webinar with the president of IETFL, right? Okay. I'm going to share my screen as well. Can everybody see my screen? The website?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. So the second part of the presentation, as Saida said, will be about the British Council exams offer. And I'll be talking about the IELTS resources, IELTS preparation resources mostly. Why IELTS? I know that most of you are either preparing yourselves or teach IELTS to your students. So IELTS is very popular these days. So therefore, we pay a very close attention and develop the materials on this test. So if you start your journey from our website, it's britishcouncil.uz. You can see the menu, yeah, the horizontal menu, and then you can see take an exam, take IELTS with the British Council page. And here we try to collate all information about this test, about the dates, about the different formats of the test, and we've also collated the preparation materials. So if you go to this page, which is called Prepare for Your IELTS Test with the British Council, you can see a number of sections here, which is Road to IELTS. It's our unique online course. And the first 10 hours of this online course are available for anyone. And the next 20 hours are available for everyone who's registered for IELTS with the British Council. You can see the free applications, which you can download to your mobile telephones and prepare for IELTS anywhere and anytime. We've also prepared some practice tests for you, some more online courses, the familiarization videos, some, advice on IELTS books. And there are two sections here I would like to focus more today. It's Prepare for IELTS. Prepare for IELTS is our 8-week preparation program with absolutely free webinars. The webinars are conducted by IELTS experts of the British Council. It's actually the Zoom webinar, and they're very, very popular. We actually advise people to register earlier because the number of seats are limited and people might not get access to these webinars. As I said, it's an 8-week program, and the first 4 weeks are coming to the end. And you can see the topics here. The webinars are conducted every Tuesday and Thursday, and they're focused on one particular topic. For example, academic writing task 1, general writing task 1, and etc. At the moment, we are working on the next 4 weeks webinars. And there is a chance that these webinars, these topics will be repeated. So if you miss these webinars, do not worry about that. You will have a chance to attend the next coming webinars as well. I think it will be very useful for you as teachers, for you maybe as IELTS candidates, because I attended one of the webinar myself, and I should admit that the IELTS expert who is conducting this webinar is covering this topic in a very detailed way. And you will also have a chance to ask your questions in the chat room. So this is our offer, which we created and developed to support the teachers, the learners, the candidates in this difficult time. You will also find here separate IELTS Facebook sessions, and they are on Fridays. So the next webinar, Facebook session, sorry, will be on 24th of April. So this is one of the resources I wanted to talk about. And another one is the computer-delivered IELTS preparation materials. I hope most of you, many of you, heard that starting from the last year, the British Council is running computer-delivered IELTS. It's just another option of taking the test. The format of the test is the same. It's just, you know, how you sit for the test. Listening, reading, and writing sections are taken on the computer, and speaking is still taken with the face-to-face examiner. So this is the only difference. Well, another difference is that you get the results faster when you take the computer-delivered IELTS. So your results are available after 5 to 7 days. In comparison with the paper-based IELTS, when you take the
Какой будем делать? Вот такой?
13
Вот такой.
somebody's talking.
Ну, давай посмотрим.
And I understand that this format of a test is still might still be familiar for many people, and therefore we have prepared some preparation materials to help people get familiarized with this test. So you can find the videos, and there is a series of online videos about the test. You will find some practice tests, computer-delivered practice tests. And we have also developed the computer-delivered IELTS simulator, where you will be able to do some exercises to, you know, to practice your different skills on computer, and just to get the feeling of how this test is taken. And there is a familiarization test for this format of the exam. So these are the resources and materials I wanted to share with you. And now the floor is yours. If you have any questions, let me stop sharing.
Minapa,
Yes.
I have a question. Thank you for presentation. The webinar on Facebook, April 24. Could you tell us the time? When does it begin?
The time. Okay, I need to check the time. But if you click on the link on our website, you will be able to see the time. Do you want me to check it now?
Is it possible?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, please.
Hello, everyone. May I ask a question?
Sure.
I have a question to Saida, I guess. Speaking about courses, so for certificate, we should pay. How much is it? So the courses are free, but certificate, if you want to take certificate, you should pay.
Yeah, actually, you probably will need certificate for some purposes, but most of these online courses are for personal professional development, let me say so, if it's possible. And what is very interesting here to mention, maybe you all are familiar with British Council Teacher Development Framework. So in the world, in different parts of the world, teachers usually have some self-development, maybe how to say, levels when they are recognized or they find very important for their career development as well. Something similar is going to be done now in Uzbekistan. In Uzbekistan, they decide now how to categorize teachers for different level, and according to their level to set the salary, and so on. But British Council framework of teacher development has these 7 important maybe levels. And here you can find it in our website again, and you can look through these levels. And if you decide, for example, I can do very well lesson planning, I am very good in this. What I want to do next at the next stage, and it says this is next stage, I want to be a teacher trainer. Or you will decide, you will say, I want to be a good maybe language assessment, and so on. And according to this, your needs, and you can find this list actually in the site, you can choose then appropriate course in Future English platform.
I mean, is
can,
it the standard price, for example, $100 per certificate, any courses, or
it depends on the courses, because some courses are 4 weeks, 4-week courses,
okay.
and some are 8 weeks, for example. I'm speaking at the moment about short courses, not MA program courses.
Okay.
And actually, usually the certificate, for certificate, you have to pay, if I'm not mistaken, up to 200, 220 pounds. This is UK.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was really interesting.
Coming back to the question about the time, it's at 2:30.
And Umida, I would like to say, I see some questions, maybe this also come from school teachers. They say, do they need Zoom for teaching online, maybe materials, and whether the students will have to, will need Zoom actually. The simple way, you don't have to ask your students to use Zoom, and I think it is becoming very, very popular in Uzbekistan nowadays. Everybody is using Zoom. You can simply choose a lesson. And by the way, there was one question. We have specific calendar plan. So one teacher was asking, I can't remember, sorry. We have to follow very specific calendar plan of topics and themes to teach English and so on. So according maybe to your calendar plan, still you can choose appropriate maybe topic. For example, it's about changing plans. It's about future, facts and figures. An invitation to a party. So depending on your topic, you can still choose appropriate lesson, yes. Or if, according to your school program, you have to teach grammar or vocabulary again, here you can find a lot of grammar and vocabulary interactive tasks for your students. And what you can do, if you chose already one lesson, for example, a morning briefing, and it is in listening section. But as I told earlier, you can combine listening and reading, for example, listening and speaking. Simply copy the site link address, copy it, and send your students this address. You don't ask them to go to Zoom, ask them to go to this site, and directly in this site to find all maybe tasks, to do them by maybe online. I am sure your students will find this to do this more interesting than just doing now the tasks on the copied handout. Ask them to do all these tasks, ask them to check their answers, to get their score. And as a result of this maybe learning, you may ask them to send one productive maybe material. They may write about their morning, every morning, what they do, how their morning starts, a short kind of message or a short story, and whatever kind, something like this, they may send then to your whether email or in the Telegram group which you have at the moment. So I mean, you don't have to use Zoom here. It's much interactive and maybe motivating if your students will work in this site online and they will do the tasks online. So, Nodera.
Yeah, thank you very much, Saida and
May
Omida.
I have my question, please?
Yes, yes, please.
Hello. Oh yeah, I'm sorry for interruption. So as you mentioned, first of all, thank you so much for informative presentation. As you told, computer delivered IELTS exam. Is it possible to apply to our local universities, like world languages or any local universities, with the help of this certificate? It's acceptable? Is it acceptable to apply with this one, even it's online?
Hi, yeah. Hi, Elsa. Yes, it's absolutely acceptable. It's the same, absolutely the same certificate with the paper-based. There is no difference in the certificate. It's the only difference, as I said, is the way you take this test. But it is acceptable in local state universities and in local international universities, and I'm not talking about other international universities around the world. So these certificates are accepted around the globe.
Okay, thank you. And is there any difference in payment? How much does it cost?
At the moment, the fee is the same.
So which means how much? Because I don't know.
I will tell you. Give me a moment.
$192 US dollars.
I can tell you the price in Uzbek Sum. While I'm searching, if you have any other questions. So the price is 1,636,800 Sum till the end of this month. But you probably know that we suspended our test sessions until the end of April due to the situation with the COVID-19. So you can register for any session starting from 1st of May.
I see, thank you.
Can I just add here, just to clarify, what Omida has shared was the familiarization test. You can take it online, so just to get to know how it looks like, right? But it's not an online test. It's not the real test. So it's kind of a familiarization test, right, Omida?
Absolutely, Nazira, yes.
The actual test is computer delivered test. So you go to the test center and you take it there. It's not online, right?
It's online. Absolutely correct,
Yes.
Nazira. Thanks for clarification. Yeah. You still need to physically come to our exam venue and take the test.
Yes.
I shared our social media channels and our website, and I can share the probably the PowerPoint slide so that people can take a picture of it, and we can close the day, Nazira?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, for the presenters. I think that was really informative, and therefore probably we don't have that many questions. There are lots of things to digest, so there are the links, so go and explore these ample resources, and so just take some time and do your research, do your homework, yeah, and make best use of your time now, and grow personally and professionally. Yes, Saida.
One more thing is, first of all, I'm very thankful to all of you for joining today, and also I'm very sorry for presenting this bombing maybe with this all information and speaking very quickly because we had very limited time, but a lot of really online resources and different platforms. Some people I saw on about are asking about the certificate you mentioned at the beginning, Nadira, and maybe. And I saw also a message when people said whether the second webinar the same.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wrote it in our Mentor Hub Telegram group, and that we had agreement with Omida and the British Council. So you have to take the screenshot of this webinar. So that means you just take a picture that you really saw what was going on here. And then you will have to attend the second webinar, which is not on the same topic. It's a talk by the president of the IA-TEFL. If you know IA-TEFL, that's the International Association of English Language Teachers. So you will have to attend that one as well and take a screenshot or picture of that webinar. And then by the end of these two webinars, please send your screenshots with your full name as you want them to appear in your certificates to our Telegram bot. You know, that's Mentor Hub _bot. So you'll have to send it there.
And also, the link to that second webinar, you saw on the page when I introduced the page. I also shared this link in this chat group. If you see this, it's live events session. But what is very important, you have to register first to insert your your registration information contact.
Just a suggestion, if you have more questions or if you have, suggestions to have another webinar, of course, it's up to Nadira.
We are all, will be great.
We can collate the questions and maybe sometime in future to have another webinar with you, which I'm sure Saeed and we enjoyed it a lot, and I hope you enjoyed it. We don't want to take your time because, you know, it's better to register for the next webinar as early as possible. So thank you very much and all the best to you and to your families. Take care and stay healthy. Stay home.
Yes, stay home and stay safe. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nadira Pa, Saida Pa, Umida Pa.
Thank you.